Do this with a tomato. They won't be able to resist you, ancient attraction ritual brothers and sisters. Listen not with the ears only, but with the heart. The Buddha taught that attraction is not born from force, nor from tricks, nor from outward display. Just as a seed grows into a tree without shouting, so too does human connection grow when the conditions are right. Some speak of ritual sentient methods to make others desire us, to pull them near like a magnet. But I tell you, the greatest attraction ritual is not in objects or secret actions. It is in the purity of our being. Take a tomato, simple, red and full of life. It grows from the earth, nourished by sun and water. It does not try to impress the vine or the gardener. It simply becomes what it is meant to be. In the same way, if you wish for people to be drawn to you, become like the tomato in its wisdom. Be authentic. Be nourishing. Let your words be ripe with kindness. Let your actions be seeds of compassion. When you give value, the world responds naturally. No manipulation, no hidden games. The Buddha taught that attachment and craving bring suffering. If we chase others desperately, they will feel it. They will resist. But when we let go of neediness and cultivate inner peace, we become like a calm lake. Others see their reflection in that stillness and are drawn not by force but by harmony. So what is the ritual? It is simple. Treat others with respect. Listen more than you speak. Help without expecting return. Like the tomato that nourishes the body, become a source of nourishment for the soul. People are attracted to light, not shadows. Do not search for tricks. Search for wisdom. Do not try to control hearts. Cultivate your own heart. When you do this, attraction becomes natural, like the sun drawing flowers toward its warmth. This is the ancient teaching: what you give returns to you. If you give kindness, you receive kindness. If you give understanding, you receive understanding. The tomato does not shout, yet it feeds. You too can feed the world with your presence. Walk the middle path. Be humble, be genuine, and you will see that the greatest attraction ritual is simply being a good human being. Attraction comes from authenticity, not tricks. True connection grows when you are genuine and kind, not when you use manipulative rituals. True attraction is never born from tricks or hidden rituals. People may try to use methods, formulas, or manipulative behaviors to make others like them, but such things do not create lasting connection. Human beings are sensitive to energy and authenticity. When someone is genuine, their words and actions carry weight. When someone is pretending, it is felt even if it is not spoken. Just like a flower does not need to force its fragrance, a person does not need to force attraction. It grows naturally when the conditions are right. The Buddha taught that suffering comes from attachment and craving. If we desperately chase approval, we create tension. Others sense that neediness, and instead of drawing closer, they step away. But when we release the desire to control how people see us, something interesting happens. We become free. In that freedom, we act with sincerity. We speak with honesty. We listen without expecting anything. This creates space for real relationships. People are drawn to those who are comfortable in their own skin. They respect those who are truthful, even when the truth is simple. Attraction is not about perfection. No human is perfect. It is about being real. A tomato does not pretend to be anything other than a tomato. It grows, it ripens, and it gives nourishment. In the same way, we should focus on growing as human beings, cultivating kindness, patience, and understanding. When we do this, people notice. Not because we manipulated them, but because our character shines. The ancient teachings remind us that outer actions reflect inner states. If the heart is filled with greed or insecurity, actions will show it. If the heart is filled with compassion and confidence, actions will show that too. Attraction, therefore, is a byproduct of who we are. It is not something we chase directly. When we become better versions of ourselves, relationships improve naturally. The world responds to energy. Give respect and you receive respect. Give understanding and you receive understanding. This is not a magical rule, but a simple truth of human interaction. Authenticity builds trust. Trust builds connection. Connection creates attraction. So instead of searching for tricks, search for growth. Instead of trying to control how others feel, focus on being a good person. The Buddha's wisdom teaches that peace comes from within. When we are at peace, we radiate calmness. That calmness attracts others because it feels safe and genuine. In a world full of noise and performance, authenticity stands out. It is rare, it is powerful, and it requires courage. But the reward is worth it. Relationships that are real, not based on illusions. True attraction is not about doing something special with a tomato or following secret rituals. It is about being special in how we treat others and ourselves. It is about living with integrity. When we do that, we become naturally appealing, not because we try to be, but because goodness itself is attractive. Like a tomato, be nourishing. A tomato simply gives food and value similarly. Offer kindness and value to others without expecting something in return. Attraction and human connection are deeper than surface actions. Many people search for shortcuts, rituals, or methods that promise instant results, but life does not work that way. Just as a tree grows slowly from a seed, relationships and respect grow over time. They require patience, understanding, and sincerity. The Buddha emphasized that suffering comes from attachment and craving. When we desperately want approval or validation, we place our happiness in the hands of others. This creates anxiety and insecurity. People can sense neediness even if it is not spoken. If someone tries too hard to be liked, it often has the opposite effect. Others may feel pressured or uncomfortable. True connection cannot be forced. It emerges naturally when both sides feel respected and valued. Think of a tomato. It grows in its own time, does not rush, does not pretend to be something else, simply becomes ripe and useful. In the same way, a human being should focus on personal growth rather than manipulation. Kindness, patience, and wisdom are the qualities that attract others in a meaningful way. When you help people, listen to them, and treat them with dignity, they are drawn to you not because of tricks, but because of genuine character. The ancient teachings remind us that inner transformation is more important than outward display. A person may look impressive on the outside, but if their heart is filled with greed or arrogance, relationships will suffer. People may be attracted at first, but they will eventually see the truth. Pretending does not. The Buddha taught the middle path, a balanced way of living. This means avoiding extremes. Do not chase people with desperation, and do not isolate yourself with pride. Instead, cultivate humility and openness. Be willing to learn and grow. When you approach life with this mindset, connections become easier. You do not need secret rituals or complex strategies. You only need to be genuine. Attraction is a natural consequence of how you treat others. If you are kind, people will notice. If you are helpful, they will appreciate you. If you are honest, they will trust you. These qualities create bonds that are stronger than superficial charm. Human beings seek safety and understanding. They want to be around those who uplift them, not those who manipulate them. The idea of doing something special with a tomato as a ritual is symbolic. It reminds us that value comes from simplicity. A tomato nourishes the body. Kindness nourishes relationships. Compassion nourishes the soul. When you focus on giving rather than taking, you create positive energy. This energy influences how people perceive you. They may not always express it in words, but they feel it. Goodness has a quiet power. It does not shout, yet it is noticed. Ultimately, attraction is not about controlling others. It is about becoming the best version of yourself. When you grow in wisdom and compassion, you naturally draw positive people and opportunities. This is the teaching of many ancient traditions, including Buddhism. Live with integrity. Treat others well. Seek inner peace. When you do this, life becomes richer and more meaningful. Relationships flourish not because of tricks, but because of truth. Neediness pushes people away. Chasing others desperately creates resistance. Let go of attachment and focus on inner peace. Traction and human connection are not controlled by rituals or external tricks. Many people believe that doing certain actions will make others drawn to them, but life is deeper than that. The Buddha taught that everything arises from conditions. A seed becomes a tree only when the soil, water, and sunlight are right. In the same way, relationships grow when respect, kindness, and authenticity are present. If these conditions are missing, no amount of manipulation can create lasting connection. Human beings sense sincerity. They may not always explain it, but they feel when someone is genuine. If a person speaks with honesty and acts with compassion, others respond naturally. This is not magic. It is the natural human response to goodness. Just as a calm lake reflects the sky, a calm and kind heart reflects positivity in relationships. But if the lake is disturbed, the reflection becomes unclear. In the same way, if the heart is filled with insecurity or deceit, relationships become unstable. Many people chase attraction as if it were a prize. They try to impress others or use techniques to gain approval. However, approval that is forced is fragile. It can disappear quickly. True respect and affection come from who you are, not what you pretend to be. The Buddha emphasized inner transformation. When a person cultivates mindfulness and compassion, their behavior changes. They become more patient. They listen instead of arguing. They help instead of demanding. These qualities naturally draw people toward them because they create trust. Human beings want to be around those who make them feel safe and valued. The idea of using a tomato as a ritual is symbolic. A tomato grows from the earth and nourishes the body. It does not seek attention. It simply fulfills its purpose. In the same way, a human being should focus on fulfilling their purpose, being kind, learning, and growing. When you become valuable in how you treat others, attraction follows naturally. It is not something you need to chase. The ancient teachings remind us that attachment causes suffering. If we depend too much on others for happiness, we become vulnerable. People may come and go. Relationships may change. But inner peace remains if we cultivate it. When you are at peace with yourself, you do not need constant validation. This confidence is attractive because it is real. It does not come from arrogance, but from self-understanding. The middle path teaches balance. Do not isolate yourself, but do not depend entirely on external approval. Engage with the world while maintaining inner stability. Treat others with respect, but do not lose yourself in the desire to be liked. This approach creates healthy relationships. People are drawn to those who are genuine and balanced. Attraction is not about performing or using secret methods. It is about being human, imperfect, but striving to improve. When you show kindness, others notice. When you listen, they feel valued. When you act with integrity, they trust you. These qualities are far more powerful than any ritual. They create connections that last. Life is short and relationships matter. Instead of searching for shortcuts, focus on growth. Instead of trying to control others, focus on understanding. When you do this, you will see that attraction is a natural result of goodness. It is not forced. It is earned through character. This is the wisdom of ancient teachings and the lesson of human experience. Be authentic. Be compassionate. Be patient, and relationships will flourish in their own time. Inner character is more powerful than outward methods. People are drawn to calmness, wisdom, and compassion, not secret formulas. Attraction and human relationships are deeply connected to inner character rather than external rituals or tricks. Many people search for ways to make others like them instantly, believing that certain actions or symbolic practices can create magnetic appeal. However, the Buddha's wisdom teaches that everything arises from conditions. Just as a seed requires soil, water, and sunlight to grow, relationships require trust, respect, and authenticity to flourish. Without these conditions, no method or technique can produce lasting connection. Human beings are sensitive to energy and intention. When someone is genuine, their words carry weight. When they speak with kindness and sincerity, others feel comfortable. This does not mean everyone will immediately like them, but it creates the possibility of real understanding. If a person pretends or manipulates, people may respond at first, but trust will eventually break. Superficial attraction is fragile. It can disappear as quickly as it appears. True relationships are built on honesty and mutual respect. Consider the example of a tomato. It grows naturally, ripening over time. It does not rush or try to become something it is not. It simply fulfills its purpose, nourishing those who eat it. In the same way, a human being should focus on personal growth and contribution rather than manipulation. If you become a source of kindness and value, people will notice. Not because you force them, but because goodness attracts goodwill. The ancient teachings emphasize inner transformation. A person who cultivates mindfulness and compassion behaves differently. They listen instead of arguing. They help instead of demanding. They approach situations with patience. These qualities create an atmosphere of trust. Human beings want to be around those who make them feel safe and understood. Attraction in this sense is not about appearance or tricks. It is about the energy you bring into interactions. If you bring negativity, people will distance themselves. If you bring positivity and respect, they will be more open. The idea of doing something special with a tomato as a ritual is symbolic. It reminds us that value comes from simplicity. A tomato does not need to advertise itself. It simply exists and provides nourishment. Similarly, a person does not need to perform or exaggerate to be valued. Authenticity is powerful. When you are real, people can trust you. When you are kind, we feel respected. These are the foundations of meaningful relationships. The Buddha taught that attachment causes suffering. If we depend entirely on others for happiness, we become vulnerable. People may change. Circumstances may shift, but inner peace remains if we cultivate it. When you are at peace with yourself, you do not chase validation. You interact with others from a place of confidence and compassion. This does not mean you become distant or indifferent. It means you engage without desperation. The middle path encourages balance. Do not isolate yourself, but do not lose yourself in the desire to be liked. Treat others well, but also maintain self-respect. This creates healthy boundaries and meaningful connections. People are naturally drawn to those who are secure and genuine. Attraction is not a magical force controlled by rituals. It is a natural response to human behavior. If you are kind, others will appreciate you. If you are honest, they will trust you. If you are helpful, they will value you. These qualities build relationships that last. Superficial methods may bring temporary attention, but character builds lasting respect. Life is about growth and understanding. Instead of searching for shortcuts, focus on becoming a better person. Instead of trying to control how others see you, focus on how you treat them. When you do this, relationships improve naturally. Attraction becomes a byproduct of goodness. This is the wisdom of ancient teachings and human experience. Authenticity, compassion, and integrity are the true foundations of connection. They require effort, but the reward is meaningful relationships and inner peace. That is the greatest attraction of all. What you give returns to you. If you spread goodness and understanding, the world responds in the same way. Attraction is a result of your energy and actions. Attraction and human connection are not controlled by rituals, secret practices, or external tricks. Many people believe that doing certain symbolic actions can make others drawn to them, but life does not work in that way. The Buddha taught that everything arises from conditions. Just as a seed needs soil, water, and sunlight to grow into a tree, relationships need trust, kindness, and authenticity to develop. Without these conditions, no method or technique can create lasting connection. Human beings are sensitive to sincerity. They may not always explain it, but they feel when someone is genuine. If a person speaks with honesty and acts with compassion, others respond naturally. This does not guarantee universal approval, but it creates the possibility of meaningful relationships. If someone behaves in a manipulative or insincere way, people may respond at first, but trust will eventually disappear. Superficial attraction is fragile. It can fade quickly. Real connection requires depth and mutual respect. Consider the example of a tomato. It grows naturally, ripening over time. It does not rush or pretend to be something else. It simply fulfills its purpose, nourishing those who eat it. In the same way, a human being should focus on personal growth and contribution rather than manipulation. If you become a source of kindness and value, people will notice. Not because you force them, but because goodness has its own influence. Human beings are drawn to those who make them feel understood and respected. The ancient teachings emphasize inner transformation. A person who cultivates mindfulness and compassion behaves differently. They listen instead of arguing. They help instead of demanding. They approach situations with patience and understanding. These qualities create an atmosphere of trust. Relationships thrive in environments where people feel safe and valued. Attraction in this sense is not about appearance or performance. It is about the energy you bring into interactions. If you bring negativity, criticism, or arrogance, people will distance themselves. If you bring positivity, respect, and humility, they will be more open. This is not manipulation. It is simple human psychology. People prefer to be around those who uplift them rather than those who drain them. The idea of using a tomato as part of an attraction ritual is symbolic. It reminds us that value comes from simplicity. A tomato does not advertise itself or seek attention. It grows, ripens, and provides nourishment. Similarly, a human being does not need to perform or exaggerate to be valued. Authenticity is powerful. When you are real, people can trust you. When you are kind, they feel respected. These qualities build relationships that last beyond superficial impressions. The Buddha taught that attachment causes suffering. If we depend entirely on others for happiness, we become vulnerable. People may change. Circumstances may shift, but inner peace remains if we cultivate it. When you are at peace with yourself, you do not chase validation. You interact with others from a place of confidence and compassion. This does not mean you become distant or indifferent. It means you engage without desperation. Healthy relationships come from balance. The middle path encourages moderation. Do not isolate yourself, but do not lose yourself in the desire to be liked. Treat others well, but also maintain self-respect. Set boundaries and value your own worth. When you do this, relationships become healthier. People are drawn to those who are secure and genuine. Attraction is not a magical force controlled by external actions. It is a natural response to human behavior. If you are kind, others will appreciate you. If you are honest, they will trust you. If you are helpful, they will value you. These qualities create connections that last. Superficial methods may bring temporary attention, but character builds lasting respect. Life is about growth and understanding. Instead of searching for shortcuts, focus on becoming a better person. Instead of trying to control how others see you, focus on how you treat them. When you do this, relationships improve naturally. Attraction becomes a byproduct of goodness. This is the wisdom of ancient teachings and human experience. Authenticity, compassion, and integrity are the foundations of meaningful connection. They require effort, but the reward is deeper relationships and inner peace. That is the greatest attraction, not something forced or artificial, but something born from genuine humanity.